The Dragon's Talon. Why China's J-20S has rendered America's Air Force obsolete. Pentagon officials are losing sleep, and they have every reason to. In the high-stakes game of air supremacy, America has just been dealt a losing hand. China's J-20S, the world's first twin-seat stealth fighter, isn't just another jet. It's a game-changer. This aircraft, unveiled to a shocked world, can command entire drone swarms while invisible to radar. While we've rested on the laurels of our F-22s and F-35s, China has been studying our every weakness. The numbers are a stark warning. By 2030, China will operate over 800 J-20 variants against our aging fleet of just 186 F-22s. This isn't a future threat. This is a clear and present danger. What's your assessment of this critical threat? Sound off in the comments below. Support this channel by hitting the like button and subscribe for more mission-critical intelligence briefings. Stay vigilant. The Raptor Killer. How the J-20S neutralizes the F-22. For 2 decades, the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor has been the undisputed king of the skies, an apex predator. Its combination of thrust vectoring agility, advanced sensors, and all-aspect stealth was designed for one purpose: to dominate any one-on-one engagement. It was built to achieve air superiority, guaranteeing that American ground forces would never have to look up. We spent $350 million per aircraft to create this technological marvel, a fighter so advanced its export was banned by Congress, and China just made it obsolete. The problem isn't that the J-20S is a better dogfighter than the F-22. The problem is that the J-20S refuses to fight that battle. Chinese engineers with years to study our doctrine identified the F-22's core philosophy: see first, shoot first, and designed a counter. That counter sits in the second seat of the J-20S. This second crew member is a drone mission commander. While our F-22 pilot is managing his own systems, he's facing an attack from 5 platforms at once: 1 manned J-20S and 4 unmanned Loyal Wingman combat drones. This is the new reality of air combat. It's not a duel, it's a coordinated ambush. Imagine the scenario. An F-22 pilot detects an enemy formation. He thinks he's engaging a single aircraft, or perhaps 2. But what he's actually facing is a networked team. The J-20S uses its drone wingmen as expendable scouts, sending them forward to probe our defenses. Our F-22 pilot is now forced into an impossible choice: either reveal his position by engaging the unmanned platforms, or allow them to get close enough to feed targeting data back to the manned J-20S hiding in the distance. The moment our F-22 fires a missile, its position is compromised. The J-20S, which has been flying cold, passively listening, now has a lock. It can coordinate attacks from multiple vectors simultaneously, overwhelming the F-22's defensive systems. The F-22 was designed to be a scalpel. The J-20S is a shotgun blast. But the Chinese didn't stop there. They also targeted the Raptor's key performance advantage: Super Cruise. With its new indigenous WS-15 engines, the J-20S can match the F-22's ability to maintain supersonic speeds without afterburners. The one capability that allowed our Raptors to dictate the time and place of an engagement is gone. Now, both aircraft can sustain high-speed intercepts, but the J-20S has a superior operational range, allowing it to choose when and where to fight. This is a strategic failure of catastrophic proportions. We built exactly 186 operational F-22s, and then, in an act of supreme short-sightedness, we shut down the production line over a decade ago. We cannot build more. China, meanwhile, is churning out J-20 variants. They don't need to build a better fighter. They just need to build enough fighters to exploit the rules of this new game. In any sustained conflict, our F-22 fleet will be attrited into non-existence, overwhelmed by sheer numbers and a tactical doctrine we have no answer for. The lightning rod, crippling the F-35's network. If the threat to the F-22 is tactical, the threat to the F-35 Lightning II is existential. The F-35 is the backbone of the U.S. Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps. It was designed as a quarterback in the sky, a multi-role fighter whose greatest strength wasn't speed or agility, but its unmatched sensor fusion and networking capabilities. A formation of F-35s shares data seamlessly, allowing one pilot to see what three others see. We've staked our entire airpower future on this concept, and the J-20S is designed specifically to tear that network apart. The second crew member in the J-20S isn't just a drone commander. They are also a dedicated electronic warfare officer, EWO. While the pilot focuses on flying and fighting, the EWO is conducting sophisticated jamming operations, targeting the very data links that make the F-35 effective. When our F-35s can't talk to each other, they lose their primary tactical advantage. They are no longer a networked team. They are just a collection of very expensive, very vulnerable single-engine fighters. The J-20S directly counters the F-35's greatest strengths in ways that would be devastating in a real-world conflict over the Pacific. First, range. The F-35's single-engine design limits its combat radius. In the vast distances of the Pacific theater, this is a critical flaw. A J-20S can take off from mainland China, conduct extended combat operations over Taiwan, and return home without refueling. That same mission pushes an F-35 to its absolute limits, making it completely dependent on vulnerable tanker support, which, as we will see, are the J-20S's priority targets. Second, speed. The F-35 is not a fast aircraft. It has a maximum speed of Mach 1.6. The J-20S, powered by its new WS-15 engines, can exceed Mach 2.0. This speed differential is not a trivial statistic. It dictates the terms of engagement. The Chinese fighters can choose to fight when conditions favor them and withdraw when they don't. Our F-35 pilots will lose the ability to pursue retreating enemies or escape an unfavorable situation. They will be forced to fight on China's terms every single time. Third, payload. The J-20S is a larger aircraft and can carry a significantly heavier weapons load. Reports indicate the J-20S can carry nearly 28,000 pounds of internal and external weaponry, compared to the F-35's maximum of 18,000 pounds. This isn't just about more bombs. It's about carrying longer-range air-to-air missiles. The J-20S can engage our F-35s before our own F-35's weapons are within effective range. The simple, brutal mathematics of missile engagement will favor the platform with the longer reach and higher speed. The F-35 was designed to be a jack-of-all-trades, but in a fight against a specialized opponent like the J-20S, it's a master of none. It's not as stealthy as the F-22, not as fast as the J-20S, and its one defining advantage, its network, is the J-20S's primary target. This is a recipe for disaster. The production nightmare, a war we've already lost. Here is where the threat becomes existential for American air superiority. This is the part of the briefing that should have every American taxpayer demanding answers from Washington. While we struggle to maintain our advanced fighter fleets due to staggering costs and complexity, China is mass-producing the J-20. They are specifically building an air force to overwhelm our F-22 and F-35 fleets through sheer, brute numbers. The mathematics are stark, and they are not in our favor. Let's talk cost. Each J-20 costs approximately $120 million to produce. Each F-35A, our affordable option, costs $178 million, with the carrier and STOVL variants exceeding $200 million. Our F-22 program? Over $350 million per aircraft. By simple economics, China can build nearly 3 J-20s for every 2 F-35s we produce. They are building a new air force faster and cheaper than we can possibly maintain our old one. Now, let's talk production rates. Current intelligence estimates suggest China is manufacturing over 100 J-20 variants annually. America, across all services, produces roughly 48 F-35s per year. Let that sink in. They are outproducing us by more than 2 to 1. This isn't a problem for the future. Let's look at the hard numbers. By 2030, less than a decade away, China will operate a fleet of over 800 J-20 variants. On that same day, the United States will field its 186 F-22s, which will be 20 to 30 years old, and approximately 450 F-35s. In any sustained conflict, these numbers spell disaster. This is the industrial strategy of a nation serious about winning a war. China isn't trying to build a better individual aircraft. They are building enough adequate aircraft to overwhelm our superior but limited platforms. This strategy works because modern air combat isn't about Top Gun-style individual dogfights. It's about sustained operations over weeks or months. Even if our F-22s and F-35s achieve a favorable kill ratio, let's say 2 to 1, the laws of attrition mathematics will hand victory to China. They can afford to lose 2 J-20s for every American fighter we lose and still maintain numerical superiority. They can trade airframes all day long, and we will run out of fighters first. And the J-20S, the twin-seat variant, makes this numbers problem exponentially worse. It multiplies the effective number of Chinese aircraft through drone integration. Each J-20S commanding 4 drones creates a 5-platform threat package. A single squadron of 4 J-20S fighters, with their full drone complements, presents the combat effectiveness of 20 traditional fighters, all coordinated by experienced human pilots. We are facing an adversary that is building a 21st-century air force on a 20th-century mass production scale, while we are stuck with boutique fleets of silver bullet aircraft that are too expensive to build and too precious to lose. Systems. Destruction. Targeting America's Achilles heel. For decades, Chinese military strategists have studied American air power. They watched us dominate in Iraq, Serbia, and Afghanistan, and they identified the critical vulnerabilities, our Achilles' heel, that make our entire warfighting philosophy possible. The J-20S is the scalpel designed specifically to sever those tendons. This strategy threatens both our F-22 and F-35 operations by targeting the support systems these advanced fighters absolutely require to even get into the fight. American air power depends on 3 things: forward bases, aircraft carriers, and aerial refueling tankers. These assets are what allow us to project power across the vast distances of the Pacific Ocean. They also create massive, high-value targets that Chinese forces are now prioritizing. The J-20S's extended range and stealth characteristics allow it to threaten these critical assets from previously safe distances. Consider our aerial refueling operations. Our F-22s and F-35s with their limited range are completely dependent on tanker support. These large, non-stealthy aircraft, like the KC-135 and KC-46, become prime targets for J-20S formations, operating with their drone wingmen. The tankers are defenseless. Our defending fighters must position themselves predictably around these vulnerable assets, flying in patterns that make them easy to track and ambush. Take out the tankers, and our F-35s and F-22s literally fall from the sky, unable to make it home. Aircraft carriers present an even more attractive target. The J-20S's range allows it to threaten carrier strike groups throughout the first island chain, the area including Taiwan and the Philippines, while remaining based on mainland China. This forces our multi-billion-dollar carrier groups to operate farther and farther from the potential conflict zone, drastically reducing the effectiveness of their F-35C air wings and complicating every single mission. Finally, our forward air bases, our unsinkable aircraft carriers throughout the Pacific, face a similar threat. Airfields in Japan, Guam, and potentially even Hawaii could face coordinated, preemptive J-20S attacks. These raids would be designed to crater runways, destroy fuel depots, and eliminate our aircraft on the ground before they ever have a chance to take off. The very stealth characteristics that make the J-20S difficult to intercept on approach also make it nearly impossible to defend against in a surprise first-strike attack. This is what Chinese military doctrine calls systems destruction warfare. It's not about fighting our fighters directly. It's about targeting the interconnected systems, the logistics, the command and control, the refueling that enable American airpower. The J-20S, with its combination of range, stealth, and drone coordination capabilities, is the perfect tool to execute this strategy. We have built an air force that relies on a long and vulnerable logistical tail. China has just unveiled the weapon designed to cut it. This isn't just a threat to our pilots. It's a threat to our entire strategy for defending the Pacific. An unavoidable reckoning. The J-20S is more than just a new threat to our F-22 and F-35 fighters. It signals China's emergence as a true peer competitor, a nation capable of challenging American military dominance in a way we have not seen since the height of the Cold War. For generations, American air superiority has been the foundation of our global power. It has been a given. It enabled our ground forces to operate with impunity and allowed our naval forces to project power across the globe. The J-20S challenges this fundamental assumption. This challenge requires an immediate and comprehensive response. We must accelerate the development of our own sixth-generation fighter programs, incorporating the hard lessons the J-20S is teaching us. We must immediately upgrade our existing F-22 and F-35 fleets with enhanced electronic warfare suites, and most critically, rapidly develop our own loyal wingman drone capabilities to restore tactical parity. But technology alone is not enough. Our industrial base is lagging. We must find ways to increase production rates and lower costs, or we will be buried by the sheer number of Chinese platforms. This is not a time for complacency. The men and women serving in our Air Force and Navy deserve our complete support, and they deserve the best equipment to face this new era of great power competition. The J-20S is China's direct challenge to the superiority that has kept America safe for decades. The question every American should be asking is, are we ready to meet it?